Welcome back to Muscle Car Concepts. This is Gage Schmidt with Shop Dates. We've had quite the interesting morning. Johnny and I and a few other guys here in the shop, Megan included, spent some time talking about community, the real life experience, how to give more, how to improve as a shop, improve as individuals. That's something I appreciated. That was one of the first times I've really seen, an entire business spend time caring about the employees and people that are there and their experience and asking, hey, how do we all improve? What do you guys want to see? What do you guys enjoy? I mean, to see the focus on the individual is a really cool experience here at Muscle Car Concepts. I think that's something that we'd like to focus on more, is what kind of real life impact can we have on the individual. I think we're stepping away from how much money can we make and stepping into what is the real life impact of our everyday inputs. So what we do every day, what we say every day, the interactions we have. I mean, each interaction is an opportunity to make something out of it, right? Whether that's a friendship, a positive message, you just never know what people need and what you can provide. We spent a long time trying to figure out what the world wants, what individuals want on a very deep level. Not what they say that they want, what they really, really want. And I think it's come down to a handful of things, and it's pretty simple. They want truth, they want honesty, they want to keep it real, they want to be able to experience community and have a genuine connection, a genuine relationship. They want to feel like they're a part of a big vision, like they're supporting something that they all can believe in. And how you start that is starting locally, starting small with the people that you're around every day, right? So how do we make that impact on the customers, the employees, the boss, the Napa parts delivery driver? I mean, that's how you start making a change, is just with the people you experience with every day. We're starting to watch people that we experience every day completely change their life to match this opportunity that's in front of them. So we had Todd Francisco on the podcast a week or two back. Came back, right after SEMA and was like, dude, let's do another one. I need to be more on camera. I think that this could be a big opportunity if I can kind of change a few things about what I'm doing in my own life and use this as a launching platform for my own life. All right, that's very cool. The fact that someone wanted to revise their life and improve themselves without really any results, just off the idea that like I could be a part of this big vision. That's the kind of impact that we want to see. And his big thing was like, I love that you guys keep it real. I love that you guys are raw and share the experience. He comes and visits probably once, twice a week typically. And literally this is the experience. This is what it's like. So the fact that he was able to see through the social media experience and be like, no, that's literally what it's like being around those guys or being around me or being around Todd, that's genuine. Here at Muscle Car Concepts, it's more than just building cars. It's about building community. It's about building family along the way. I mean, it's just like life. It's not about what you get or what you have or what you're driving in. It's about the people you meet along the way and what kind of interactions you get to have, and you remember what kind of memories you create with those people along your journey through life. And so what Muscle Car Concepts is we build amazing custom SEMA Barrett Jackson one-off for the world to see and for the customers to dream and for us to build. But our focus is the experience. From start to finish. What is it like day one as a customer? And then what is it like on the very last day of a customer? And I think the idea is that, we build a genuine friendship along the way, so much so that when the build's done, the build is irrelevant at that point. It's about, dang, how's my friend doing? We've fostered a real relationship. We have an amazing customer. His name is Scott Pullen. He's been on a few of our videos, the Cars and Coffee he all posted. He's talking about working here. And one of the reasons he's talking about working here is he just enjoys it. He's like, when I'm here with you guys, it's a real experience. I'm happy. Life is enjoyable. He goes out to lunch with us from time to time. And he's like, dude, I could be living this every day. And that's really cool to see a customer who came in and not looking for a job or not looking for an opportunity, was like, this is such an experience that I have to be a part of it. I will leave my job that I don't want to leave to be a part of this thing with you guys. That's the impact we want. That when people experience it, even just on a surface level, they have an urge to dive deep and want more, right? And then the further that they go, the better the experience gets. That's what we want. And so what that creates is a really tight community of people who've dove into what they've enjoyed on the surface. And as you dive deeper into Muscle Car Concepts, you find more presence. You find more of a genuine connection, genuine family. I mean, that's what this whole thing is. I know that this is Shop Dates and there's a bunch of cars that we ought to talk about, but this is extremely important. This is the vision. This is why we all showed up today. The cars are a byproduct of our chemistry here at Muscle Car Concepts. We just opened uploaded our SEMA video, our SEMA 2024 vlog with Todd Francisco, Todd Otto, Xavier, and I believe Mike Whitrock was there as well. I don't think he was really in the video, but shouts out to him. And, you know, that went pretty well. There's a ton of beautiful cars, a ton of drifting videos that just all kind of meshed together very nicely. It was cool to not necessarily be a part of it because I didn't go, but I helped edit the video, and, you know, I still felt like I was a part of the experience, so I'd highly recommend go checking that out if you want to see what Todd and Xavier and Todd Francisco were up to this last few weeks in Vegas. Beautiful scene. I mean, the cars that showed up seemed to be a ton of classics, a ton of exotics, a ton of really nice restorations. It was interesting. I heard a lot of people's comments about the SEMA quality, and people kind of suggesting that the SEMA quality didn't really hold its end, that people were showing up with half-built cars and the paint jobs are all right. That is what it is. I think that inspired us to show up next year with our own additions to the SEMA event. So the bump side Bronco, potentially a 2017 72 Camaro Cutlass combination, and there might be one extra one, so look out in the future for that guy. And I think the idea is that we over deliver on SEMA and remind people that the quality is why people go there. You know, it's an arts and craft venue for the highest end restoration, you know, gurus basically. It's kind of how I see it. And obviously it's kind of a catch-all for car enthusiasts and anyone who loves the industry. Kind of like how Gas Monkey did it, where they just showed up really hot, had a nice big reveal, did some social media, and it was a really, really nice product. I mean, that's what we want. We want to remind people that building hot rods is not only exciting, but is a creative expression of art. Last week, we had the 1994 GMC that had to get resprayed. I was buffing and polishing and basically burnt through on the driver's side quarter of the bed, like the very edge of that bed, burnt through. Shouts out to me. Just keeping it real, keeping it honest. So that had to get resprayed. Last week, that just got pulled out of the booth. The 65 Mustang just got sprayed with red and clear as well. Then we got the Jaguar E-Types being worked on by our amazing fabricator Mike, who's, if you haven't seen our Instagram and the time lapse of him fixing this really rare and expensive hood, highly recommend it. Showcases his skills, the quality that we do on Muscle Car Concept, and it was real, it was raw, it was just a time lapse, but it's super interesting. Xavier helped put it together, keeps you entertained with nice music. I'd go check it out. We got the 1957 Imperial hood painted, buff polished, and we got the 1957 Imperial wet sanded, buff polished. It's already installed on the car and it looks beautiful. I think we're gonna get the customer in and take a look, see what he thinks. It'd be nice if he decided to do a full restoration on the car. Personally, I like perfect paint job on it we didn't do, and I think that we could do better. That's my personal preference. We'll see what happens. The Hellcat Swap 1974 Challenger is going through a mock-up period, so we got Clint and Mike as well, who are help mocking it up, checking alignment, kind of tapping out some metal and getting this thing so that right after primer, everything's gonna line up nicely and you can just start the block sanding experience, get that going, and then rinse repeat. I mean, it's just block sand, primer, block sand, primer, block sand, paint. So that'll start to more or less just climb ahead just like anything else. The 1970 Chevelle, I believe that's getting ready for high build. Did a lot of block sanding, alignment fitting, just kind of checking to see how things are going. Looking pretty good, pretty excited. I think it's gonna look like a really dark Viper red with maybe a little flake. You'll get a feel for it obviously after we paint it and you start to see how this thing's going to come together. That one's super excited. That's going to World of Wheels in spring, potentially to SEMA, basically every big car show. The owner, Scott Poland, who's going to start working here, shouts out. He wants to take it everywhere. He wants to bring you guys with, so that'll be a full experience. Shouts out to Reese, young man, living his life, inspiring people all along the way of his journey. He's got quite the medical background. We'll update you guys more in the future. We'll have a proper video to kind of give you insight. He is Scott Poland's grandson, and he's the reason that we're doing the 1970 Chevelle. They want to give this young man an amazing experience. He wants to try to do a burnout in it. He loves Chevelles. You know, not only does Scott Poland and his car have a special place in our heart, but I think Reese really made an impact here in the shop, really inspires people to keep showing up every day, giving it their all, and to see how much support he has with his family really inspires us to build a community and something that when he sees our social media posts and when he sees the stuff that we're doing, that he feels like he's made a positive impact just by him being him. A big message that I have today is enjoy the people that you get to spend your day with. If you haven't already, tell them thank you, tell them you love them, don't take take anything for granted, and you never know how long you're going to have those people in your life. Appreciate what's in front of you, whether you like it or not. Change is for certain, and the good days and the bad days, they all go. Just be present with it. The 1977 Pinto Cruiser. Johnny's been doing the upholstery on it. We're going to have a Johnny Upholstery 77 Pinto Cruiser video coming out soon, so stay ready for that one. You know Johnny, he's always super electric with content. He had so many smiles, so much upbeat attitude. The video is going to be definitely worth checking out. Here in the Midwest, we're pretty much just preparing for winter. That's kind of the theme of this week. Started Monday off, kind of cold, super rainy. Definitely a reminder to prepare yourself for winter. The Midwest specifically, super flat, super windy, and in the winter, super cold. Don't know why that was relevant, just felt like sharing. You know, we're trying to figure out how to actually do everything that we talk about. I mean, we come on here and we say, you know, we want to create family, community, a real relationship. We want to be a one-of-one restoration shop that's more than just a restoration shop. But how do you actually execute that? More or less, we're in that discovery stage of like, we want to do this thing, but how do we do it? And so that's what Shop Dates is. That's what pretty much all the social media stuff is like, I don't know, but I figure that if we start, we'll figure it out along the way. So just appreciate the development of each video, because each video is going to get better and better and more accurate to what we truthfully want to share and what we want you guys to be aware of and experience. And since we're new, we're still learning how to do that. We've never done this before. Shouts out, you get to experience pretty raw experience for us. We would like to help the world be truthful to who they are by being leaders and being real and upfront and honest with who we are and why we're here and what we're doing, right? You can't change the world if you don't change yourself. If you want to actually change the world, you ought to lead by example and demonstrate what you'd want the rest of the world to do. I think that if everyone was more authentic with themselves and real with the life they wanted to live and how they actually felt, the whole world would be happier. A lot of miscommunication, a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of confusion would be just wiped away. And I think a more satisfied, happier experience would change the world for everyone. I mean, what if at work you weren't just showing up, not able to speak your opinion, and just had to clock in, clock out, be quiet, head down, just do your work? What if you actually got to express yourself? What if you actually got to be a part of the experience, the vision, add value, and share what you think, regardless of where you're at? I mean, I'm not saying you're right or wrong, or the value or what you have to say is going to necessarily make a big impact, but just to feel like you are a part of something and can share your truthful and honest opinion, I think that difference would inspire people to help more, work more. They feel like they can actually make a difference. And I think that sometimes people feel like they can't make a difference in the situation they're in, but you can. In order to inspire people, you have to lead by example. That's what we're doing. Kachiga. The 1967 Fastback Eleanor Mustang is on hold. We will have updates in the future on why. As of now, customer would like us to stop for a second while we figure out a few things. You know, it's cool to sit here and start to ask some of the employees, like, hey, what do you think about working here? And you know, we were talking to J-Rod this morning, and he explained, he goes, you know, I've worked at a lot of dealerships, a lot of wrench turning style jobs, and not too long ago he decided I'm never gonna pick up a wrench again. I've had a horrible experience everywhere I work. For some reason, he took a chance here. And, you know, nobody's perfect and no organization is perfect, but it was nice to hear when we asked and we said, you know, what do you think about working here? And just, you can tell when someone's being genuine and real and just, oh, this is a dream job. I love what I'm doing. The atmosphere is amazing. You guys are awesome. You know, obviously there's stresses and things that could be improved, which is what we spent this morning trying to figure out. You know, it's helped fix bad experiences in the industry. He's enjoying his job. He loves what he does. It's like, can we get more of that? Can we do more? How do we do better? Because if you like it now, imagine how much better it could be if we fixed a few things and made it more personable and had a vision that everyone believed in and that everyone else's visions could also fit inside this big vision, you know, and help launch this social movement that we're more or less starting. We've been working on the Ford Bronco that's going to go to SEMA next year. They've just taken out the carpet. We lifted it up it was on a trailer because we picked it up from a junkyard. We got that sitting on a frame, sitting on jack stands. We're going to start mocking up the front fenders, the hood, the front grille, the bed, and once we have that, there'll be a visual sort sort of social media post online. We've got a lot of our time lapses and a lot of how that's going to go down. YouTube and Instagram. Instagram shows more of our how we do things. Time lapses, you get more of an in-depth experience on the work that we do. YouTube is a little more surface level, a little more sunshine and rainbows. I mean, obviously we share similar style content, but the Instagram, we hit it hard with very professional look. We want to be able to show customers when they ask, hey, why should I give you $250,000 to $500,000 to build this car? It's like, well, take a look at our Instagram. Do you see the work that we do? The amount of customization, the amount of basically quality fabrication, and the amount of knowledge that goes into each person that works here and how this whole thing comes together. I mean, you're around a bunch of car guys, history buffs that know what they're doing, have spent their whole life in the industry, more or less give you a confident experience when you look at our social media. That's what we want to create. We attempted to do a SEMA podcast last week with Todd Francisco, Todd Otto, and Xavier, and let's just say it did not go well. Not worth posting. The audio wasn't quite right. It wasn't a good podcast. And obviously we'd like to give you A++. So I'm going to see about potentially doing 2 separate podcasts, one with Francisco, one with Todd, and really get to see what they experienced. I noticed when those 3 were on the podcast together, there was nobody to really ask questions. There was nobody to pick their brain. It was like they almost had so much to say each that nobody said anything, where someone who's an outsider who's never been can ask a lot of questions, and Todd Francisco will talk for hours, and same with Todd Otto in the right settings. So I think that could be an organic, interesting podcast. This week we're hitting social media again pretty hard. Check out the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, basically any platform. We're all over it. I think just continuing to improve, continuing to we're still trying to find ourselves in terms of social media and how we want to do things and what's the best way to convey our vision, our message in a way that's replicatable. Doesn't take 100 hours to edit. I mean, we gladly will, but I think the idea is that we're able to show up every week and be consistent. And it's hard to scale something that takes that much editing hours, at least with the current setup we have. I'm sure in the future the production quality will improve. We're just getting started. We build American hot rods, European rat rod, basically any sort of classic truck, muscle car, vintage van. You dream it, we build it. That's what we do here in shop. We are looking for the biggest dreams out there to build, right? If you've had that one of one custom, I want to throw a supercharged double Whipple whatever into your freaking Miata. We don't do that, but we could. The question of the week is, how do we do better? Like, genuinely, how do we improve? How do we each week take a step forward and not live the same week that we did last week? I mean, that gives people hope. Happiness finds you on your way to a goal. So as you get closer to the goal, happiness starts to arise within you. And so I think as a shop, it's a constant reminder that like each week we need to improve, because that's how we all stay happy and believe in this thing that we're doing. Alrighty, my name is Gage Schmidt with Muscle Car Concepts. That was our shop dates. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. We're going to have more in the future. Things change so quickly here in the shop that what we want out of this week is going to look different than what we want out of next week. And that's what's entertaining. That's what's really interesting, because our end goal is obviously to be a large-scale restoration shop that's recognized globally, that we have a community, and it's something that everyone enjoys. This is our journey to getting to that point. I hope you enjoy. We'll have more in the future. Stay updated. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Tell everybody. Tell the family. I don't care if they're dead or alive. Everybody's got to know about it. The end.